All right, welcome to Wildcat Behind the Page, where we take a behind the scenes look at the making of the comic book Wildcat, in particular the first issue, as well as the general thoughts and ideas, and whatever else is going on in my life. So, this is kind of half behind the scenes look of the making of the comic book, and also kind of half vlog. Um, so, you've been warned for for those of you that are new to my channel and new in particular to this video series. You've been warned in advance what you're in store for. So let's talk about what you're looking at. What the crap? Let me get right back to where I was at. There we go. Um, so anyway, this is my new little thumbnail I'm going to use for my videos. I think it looks pretty cool. I may do something different. Um, Might be a little bit convoluted. I could probably do without the claw marks. But I still think it looks cool. And in particular, the thing to look at is this logo. It says New Empire since 2017. What is this logo? What's the deal with this? Well, this is the name of my comic book company. The name that I'm going to go with. There's already an Empire Comics, as far as I know, but they're actually a comic book store. So, hence the word New Empire. And I wanted a name that was kind of memorable and a little bit epic, something that had an impact, something that kind of stuck with you. And I wanted something that has a classic look and kind of a classy feel to it. So I got a lot of gold and black colors. Anyway, so there you go. This is going to be my logo for my company, my hypothetical publishing company slash studio, I guess. And the reason I have since 2017, in 2017, that was when I started working on doing the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge, and that's around the time my son Cooper was born. And this is when I started working on the comic book Wildcat. All these things were happening all within that 2017 year. Okay. So let me minimize this bad boy. And I had another thing pulled up here. I don't know where it went. It doesn't matter. So let me show you a little bit of the pages that I've been working on so far. Some of these you've already seen. Now, this one I really enjoy. I thought this turned out pretty good. Let me zoom in here. I think this looks pretty killer myself. Look at that. That's badass is what I call that. Pretty cool. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. I don't know what you all think of it, but I think it looks really cool. Here's page 15. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you can actually see what's going on. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again, that a lot of these pages that I'm coloring, once I got everything completed, I'm going to go back and tinker with some stuff and improve the colors here and there wherever needed, to the best of my humble ability. But, I don't think I'm doing too shabby of a job on the colors so far. Let's see, page 16. Now, page 16 was a bit of a challenge because it's nighttime and I'm trying to do like tail lights and headlights, I think did all right, I had some, I'm not sure if it's kosher to use the word Ford, but I wanted to have a F-150 1978 blue Ford Explorer in the comic. So there it is. There's still a few other things that I'm going to do with this page. So I'm not 100% finished. I'm not 99.9% finished. So with this page anyway. let's see. Now, page 17. This isn't done, but I'm going to say this is about 80% done. Overall, I'm kind of satisfied with the top panel. These are my favorite two panels right here. This one over here with the couch, and the feet, and the fox laying in the ground, and the other one with her waking up. Oh, shucks. Sorry. Okay, so there's all that. And let me show you what I'm working on right now. This is page 18. Let me zoom out so you can get the gist of the whole thing. So this is what it looks like so far that I'm working on. I like to use GIMP, GIMP. It is a free, totally free, basically kind of like a Photoshop based program. It can do everything that Photoshop can do as far as I know, And I'm really happy with it. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, so before going any further, I'm just going to let you know that as I kind of tinker here, it's going to be very, very difficult and very hard for me to focus on having a one-sided conversation with you, the audience, because I'm so focused on coloring this, and you don't want to make mistakes, and you kind of want to think about what you're doing, as you're doing it, and it's not. I'm not. I don't think I'm one of these people that can walk, talk, and chew bubble gum at the same time. I don't think that's. I don't think I'm wired that way. Now, there's some people that can. Interestingly, little fun tip, little fun fact: women are biologically wired to be excellent multitaskers. So maybe I just have biology working against me, and maybe that's my big failure as to why I can't multitask. I'm doing all right so far, so I got to give myself a little. I can't beat myself up too much. I got to give myself a little bit of props for making it this far in the video without any awkward pauses or what have you. I don't like the way how this is a little over too saturated near the ankles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like blend it out. And I don't know if let me see if that blanket's, yeah, that blanket's part of the layer. So the best way to fix that is going to have to, what the crap? Going to have to get rid of that overbleed with the blanket. Now I've just kind of colored the blanket gray, so that's great. Whatever. Go back to my black. So anyway, let me get my smudge tool here and get it pimped out and ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, look at that. Nice. I remember many years ago, I'm going to say about 10 years ago. Seems like nowadays this is kind of depressing, but oddly enough, I'm at peace with it at the same time. I find myself more and more in conversations saying, I remember 10 years ago that I did such and such. And I remember there was a time not too long ago when I would use the phrase 10 years ago, and what I was doing 10 years ago was playing like NES, Nintendo or Sega Genesis or something like that, and going to school. But now when I say 10 years ago, I've been working and going places and doing things as an adult. So it's It's kind of depressing, but I'm at peace with it at the same time. But anyway, 10 years ago, back to the point at hand. I remember my friend, a buddy of mine by the name of Steven, he introduced me to GIMP, and I was not a fan. And the reason is GIMP is got all these bells and whistles. Look at all this. Look at this. What the crap does all this do? Look at all that. That's crazy. And the thing is, since working on this comp book, I've had to learn how to work all these stupid little buttons and stuff, you know. See, I'm used to, let me show you this, if it'll pop up. Is it going to pop up? There we go. You see this? This is like a paint ripoff for Linux. It's called Color Paint with a K. And see how much more simpler this is? You know, everything that you need is right here. You got your colors down here. Not too much stuff up here, you know. It's pretty straightforward, you know. But GIMP's not like that. GIMP doesn't play around. It's serious business. It is. Let me make sure that I got my stuff together here. Boom. But anyway, my buddy Steven introduced me to GIMP, and I was not a fan. It's just because it had too many bells and whistles. It wasn't straightforward, you know. Like sometimes when you want to color something, and you don't want to have to spend 10 minutes trying to do a simple little thing that you can do in Paint. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Does that make sense, Vern? Okay. What I'm doing right now, I'm actually erasing some pencils that just kind of look ugly. Not saying that my pencils look pretty beforehand, but up here in this top layer, this is actually my line art. If I get rid of this, this is what this is what everything looks like. So I'm actually erasing some of the line art that I don't like. So, like I say in a lot of my videos, like I don't see anything that I do as a finished product until it's published. You know what I mean? So, like, even, you know, from the pencil stage to the inking stage to the coloring stage, and I guess to the lettering stage, you know, there's still changes that I can make. And so nothing is set in stone until it's, you know, printed. So I like that. But, you know, I can do that because I'm doing it all. I'm being a jack of all trades here, master of none. So I can afford to go back and change things and tinker with things at will. Now, not talking about my comic anymore and talking about something a little bit more serious. It's not that serious. I shouldn't build it up that much, but it still is, you know, it's got a lot of magnitude to it. As of the recording of this video, what is today's date? Is it, I think today is November the 12th. I was at work today and I checked my Facebook in my free time there, and you know, Facebook, everybody on Facebook made it known that Stan Lee, the co-creator of the Marvel Universe, you know, along, you know, with giants such as Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and a couple others, but you know, Stan Lee was a writer, so co-creator, one of the main creators, the architects of the Marvel Universe, passed away at the age of 95. So I don't know if he passed away today or if that was yesterday, you know, because I haven't really had a chance to look at the news headlines and get my facts straight and stuff like that, you know. All right, Alright, so that's enough doing that. Let me zoom out and kind of get a gander at what everything looks like. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something. Always hit save. That's something I've learned. Always save your work every few minutes. The reason is, the power could go out. Anything could happen to cause you to lose your work. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Stanley passed away, and I don't know, it's just heartbreaking. I wish that I could have met him and had a dialogue with him that so many comic book creators got to have, but I don't have none of the prestige or the value or the worth of a lot of those comic book creators, so that probably wasn't going to happen. But also, Stan Lee in the last 2 or 3 years of his life, he's not quite been the same Stan Lee. Well, at least not at comic book conventions. At comic book conventions, he's been very, very drained and withdrawn. I mean, some people have seen the classic Stan Lee at conventions, but I remember just a few short years ago, me and my buddy Will Avengers, not Will Avengers, but Will Avenger, we went to a comic book convention, and Stan Lee was signing some books, and he was just drained. He didn't have much to say to my friend. I was expecting him to be witty and all this other stuff. A typical Stan Lee, nothing. He just signed his book, and that was it. That was end of story. And my buddy had to pay like $100 to get the autograph. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at a man who just died or nothing, but what I am saying is that being around 95 or 93 years of age, I can't remember how old he was at the time, somewhere in that ballpark. He was just getting really fatigued and being used and abused by a lot of people that were supposed to be taking care of him, and he was autographing way too much stuff, at his age. Anyway, I guess my point of bringing all this stuff up is I regret not getting to meet Stan Lee back in the 90s and early millennium, when before, he started getting a little bit, a little touch of dementia. I kind of missed out on that, A lot of people's accounts of him as fans has been nothing, but glowing and nice things to say about the man, really. I don't know. It's sad. It's a bummer. So I regret that. But, there ain't too much I can do about it, It's just one of those things. It's just how it works sometimes, So, I don't mean to bum you out in this video. That's really not my point. It's not my goal. I've kind of bombarded you all with a lot of information here lately. I don't know if everybody can process everything I'm hitting you with. I've talked about everything from this new thumbnail with the new logo, and the Wildcat logo there behind the page, new thumbnail, company logo. And I've showed you multiple pages now of stuff that I'm working on for the Wildcat comic. And now I'm talking about Stan Lee. I'm just kind of all over the place. And am I doing bad? I really don't know. I don't know if I'm doing bad or not. Oh boy. Let's see. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Just kind of spitballing here, I guess. So I hope Stan Lee gets the peace in death that he didn't get in the last few years of his life. Gosh, that sounds depressing, but I'm being sincere. Wished I could think of something witty, something very Stanley-like that he would say, you know. I know it would probably end with Excelsior. Excelsior. I can't do that accent. True believers, Excelsior. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. That wasn't too bad of an impression. Oh man, sad news. Sad, sad, sad. Well, let me talk about some good news. Move on from that. Uh, by the way, I was thinking about doing a Stanley tribute video later, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it justice. You know, like I want to do a good job, but I'm going to have to, you know, edit my videos way better than what I've been doing them. You know, because I really don't want to have, you know, a tribute video. You know what I'm saying? But moving on from that stuff, I want to talk about, you know, New Empire Comics and, you know, and Wildcat and things that are going on with that. Um, Now, first of all, if you're watching me coloring this and you're kind of a little bit dismayed at my lack of coloring ability, well, first of all, in my defense, I'm using a mouse to color this with. I don't have like a tablet or nothing like that to, you know, do this with. So it's a little difficult to stay in the lines, I guess. It's all done by mouse. Interestingly, it seemed like I read that Image Comics, when they were pioneering a lot of coloring techniques, people like Wallace Portacio, I think it's how you pronounce his name, you know, they had to use a mouse lot for their stuff too. And Joe Chiodo, or I think that's how you pronounce his name, one of my favorite colorists, he, I think in the beginning he may have actually colored a lot of that awesome stuff he did for like Wildcats and Pit and things like that. You know, used a mouse on it. So I guess there ain't much excuse for me if that's if that's the case. I'm up the creek. That's pretty impressive, you know, the type of colors that, you know, for the type of colors he did on those books, to be able to you know, color in that way. Let me see what I got here. So New Empire Comics, you know, Wildcat is going to be one of the first creations that's going to come out on it. And there's going to be, I'm planning to do multiple issues of it before I consider, you know, publishing anything else, because I really want to build the Wildcat brand. And the first issue is just the start of that. And I really like these colors, how they're coming out so far on this page. Actually, his t-shirt is black, but I really love the contrast of this white t-shirt against the green background. So I'm a little bit torn. I could go back and color some of the previous pages with him with the white t-shirt, but I don't know if I want to put that much work into it. But anyway, yeah. Let's see here. All right. But yeah, I've got other comic book creations that I'm going to put under the New Empire banner, you know, whenever they're ready. And I'm still developing a lot of these characters that I'm going to unveil, you know. Got a lot of cool stuff coming. And I'm also trying to work on my art style as an artist and get better at telling stories and all this other stuff. And I'm trying to work on my writing, and a lot of Fway Storm's courses are helping me out a lot. Now, so if there's any of you that are interested in learning how to write, I recommend that you go to his YouTube channel. You can go on YouTube and just type in FWAH Fue Storm, and check his channel out because here lately he's been doing a lot of live streams where he's giving advice on writing, and he also does just regular very well edited videos where he talks about writing as well, so you got that. Anyway, those videos have been very helpful for me. A lot of good, delicious brain food. Helping me to formulate my thoughts to create better stories, to make them more coherent. Because the biggest problem that myself and I think a lot of other people have too is coming up with stories that have a good middle, beginning, and end. How to get started with that. But anyway, I'm developing a lot of different intellectual properties for the new Empire thing and this thing right here. But this is going to be my focus. Talking a lot here. Okay, there's that. Now, why is this white here? How am I going to color over top of that? Maybe it's this. All right. What the crap? Okay, I see. All right, that's no problem. Let's see. All right, I'll just color this here. Okay, cool. I've been also looking at publishers, to get my books printed, published, get them out into the ethos of out into the comic book world, I did contact one publisher so far, and I did get back a little bit of encouraging news. And that encouraging news is simply this. They wrote me back, and it was nothing bad. So I know that ain't much to report, but oh boy, that doesn't look good at all. What the crap is that? Well, let me go up here and do it like that. Oh, I see what I done wrong. But this one publisher that I contacted, I'm going to leave them anonymous for now, until, I know more stuff. You know what I mean? I just mainly wanted to reach out to them to see, how approachable they were and what information I can get from them and if I could skip a few steps in submitting, And the reason is I want to know if this book is even going to be considered because, the publisher that I approached, they may think that my art sucks. Maybe maybe even the cover would be enough for them to be like, yeah, no, we're not going to publish your book. That's just not our thing. And see, the quicker I know that, the more I can change my plans and do something different. Like adapt to the situation. So I can go in and maybe change the pencils to make the publisher happy. If I wanted to do that, or work on my art some more, or maybe just self-publish or something. I mean, I just like to know what my options are. So I know, what I can do, if that makes sense. What I need to be doing, because the sooner I know these things, I think the better off that I'm going to be. I'm kind of rambling here a little bit, but it's kind of hard to make sense and color at the same time. But I done told you guys that. Let's see, hit save. It's been a little bit. Let's see what it looks like. Looking pretty good so far. Well, anyway, guys and gals, I am going to end this video. And I appreciate you taking the time to sit here and look at all this. I don't know. I don't have too much to report. As always, I read each and every single one of y'all's comments. And I know I haven't replied in like forever to a lot of these comments, but I'm just constantly, working and doing stuff. And I'm trying to color this stuff and try to get this book finished, and it will be finished. This book will be finished, no doubt about it. So sometimes, when you write me or leave a comment or anything like that, I don't, reply right away. I usually wait forever before I reply to stuff. So I'm not ignoring you or anything like that. But I appreciate each and every single one of your all's comments, and I look forward to reading your thoughts. Please let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about this new thumbnail? What do you think about this company logo and stuff like that? Also, are you sad about Stan's passing? And have any of you had the chance to meet Stan Lee? And what was that experience like? Was it a good one? I'd love to hear that. And what do you think about the colors and the art and stuff so far on the comic Wildcat? As always, this is CB Smallwood, and I will see you in the next video.